Hello, Crossroad family. We just wanted to kind of update you on how things are going with our church, especially with some of the things going on in the community, like high numbers with COVID and everything, and just recognizing the sensitivity to respond biblically to the things that are going on in our lives. By God's grace, we've had very few people in our church even get sick with COVID. We're grateful for that. We're grateful that also as far as we know, we've never had anyone get sick because of attending church at all, and so we're grateful for that as well. But at the same time, we want to be careful going forward, and so we're trying to balance all of those things together as we seek to fellowship together.
Yeah, and that's our greatest desires for you to come and to hear the Word of God, to learn the Word of God, and to fellowship. And we've seen just such a great response and a great need, really, of people just wanting to spend time together to catch up. And so we want to continue to allow that and lift one another up through our fellowship and through what we're doing. And obviously, as you know, it's difficult to do that and maintain safe distances and respect the current situation as well. And we want to do some things here to bring in more of our church family that is yet to return to church. And we feel like we have an opportunity to do that.
Sure. So at the same time, we do have to deal with respecting our authorities. Romans 13, 1 Peter 2 talk about respecting our authorities. And right now we're kind of in a current situation where we have maybe two different authorities kind of giving us different information. So we want to maintain a good testimony. It's like two parents who maybe disagree. As a child, you still don't want to split your parents up. So we're trying to respect the authorities God's put over us, and not disobey either of them. Try to figure that out. So that's the way we've been approaching this from that perspective. If it was an issue of, hey, they were telling us you can't do church, you can't meet together, that'd be a different issue. But they're talking about masks and how to meet safely, and so we're trying to respect their desires in these issues. So we've read the mandate, we've considered everything, and overall we believe we've been in compliance with the mandate as far as what we've said, our current policy has been over the summer. Our current policy is based on the research we did at the beginning of the summer in regards to the virus, as far as just how to help the situation, especially of meeting together in public, and just the fact that the virus can be dispersed over the air, and how does that work. And again, the research we looked at, and we linked to earlier, as well as we can link it again if you need it, said that 8 air changes per hour actually reduces the risk of infection via airborne droplets, which seems to be the primary way this virus is spread. And so code for our church auditorium is 10 to 15 air changes per hour. And so again, that's different than office spaces or restaurants or bars. A lot of them, or even hospital rooms, are sometimes in the 4 to 6 range. Sometimes, especially older ones, and so that means that, again, overall, the reduce the risk for spreading the virus, either spreading it to someone or even getting it yourself in our auditorium for socially distanced people. Again, for people who are 6 feet apart, is pretty much nil. And that's why we haven't required mask use in the auditorium as an additional barrier to infection. We believe that we're pretty much okay overall, as long as we're able to maintain social distancing, which we're excited. We got a lot of people coming back. It's feeling, in a sense, full again. We are concerned somewhat with maybe capacity, and we're looking at some of those issues, but overall, we feel like that's good in the auditorium. And in the foyer, there's still that risk of infection. We're not quite sure what the air changes per hour is in the foyer. And so we have recommended and still encourage using masks in the foyer if you can't social distance. And to help with this, because of the numbers we're having, we're going to open up the gym, I think, starting next Sunday, right? You want to talk about that?
Yeah. So we thought it'd be good to open up the gym and have people, as they are dismissed from after the service, to kind of filter into the gym. We'll have some tables and chairs set up. We're looking at coffee setup where we will serve that, so it's only really one person touching and serving that. But just to allow you to continue to fellowship with one another if you're not planning on getting involved with the ABF we're offering. And we just want to have that environment available so that traffic can move in and out of the foyer, but those that want to stick around, which is many of us, and just hang out and talk a little bit, we're going to allow that to happen in the gym with tables and chairs spaced out. There's more room in there to be able to do that. One of the other things that we're going to do is we are going to actually delay the start of the Gospel Project for 5th and under. We plan to start next Wednesday night, the 9th, and we are going to delay that for 5th and under. Obviously, it's very difficult to control their distance, and so we just feel it wise, being sensitive to what's going on right now, to be a good gospel witness, to delay them. We feel that middle school and high school can still plan to meet, though, because those kids are old enough, they understand distancing, they're practicing it if they're going back to school, and they can also meet outside, and their spaces can be set up to have more distance. So the leaders there are on board with trying to make that happen, and so we will look at for at least the next for at least 2 weeks delaying the start of 5th and under on Wednesday night, and then we'll do our best to get everybody synced up here as we sort of read the situation. But middle school and high school are still planning to meet on Wednesday night starting September 9th.
So just some maybe biblical counsel on how to interact with people. We're not talking about politics. You're not making a stand. You're talking about loving your brothers and sisters. And Romans 14 gives us wisdom about how to welcome one another when we don't always agree about how to handle a particular situation. And it says we need to welcome those who are weaker or stronger than us without despising them. And the stronger sometimes need to give up their rights and their freedoms in order to love their brothers and sisters when necessary. And so it's not about a mandate, it's about our hearts. We want to encourage you to be sensitive to those who have the need to wear a mask, whether it's because of elderly people they're taking care of, or maybe their own health, or maybe they're sensitive to the environment and they feel like they can't social distance but they want a fellowship. And so if you see someone in a mask, when you approach them, maybe put on a mask ahead of time, or ask them if you'd like them to wear a mask, if they'd like you to wear a mask, and so that we can love one another. We delight in loving one another. We don't want, so far we've been encouraged by this overall, in the interactions in our church, some people are masked, some people aren't. They're still interacting, they're loving one another, they're fellowshipping together. We want that to continue. We want to delight in that. And I know sometimes masks are difficult. Maybe sometimes you feel like they're hard to wear or whatever. I traveled a lot over the summer. I saw a lot of different masks, and I was out west especially. I was just noticing, frankly, cowboys have been wearing masks for a long time when they have difficulty with air out west, etc. And a bandana is a great tool again to use if you're like, I hate standard surgical masks. Well, a bandana will work for what we're talking about here and what the community desires to keep people safe. And so it's a lot more comfortable. They know what they're doing, and hey, who doesn't look like
who's never wanted to be a cowboy?
Exactly. So it's maybe encouragement if you're kind of trying to figure out a way to love your brothers and sisters better during this time. So again, we just want to encourage you. We feel like overall, again, we're grateful to God because we haven't had people getting sick, nor have we seen any evidence that people are getting sick coming to church. But we want to be careful with that. We want to respect our authorities, and we want to do that in a wise way, and we think we're doing that. So we want to encourage you to keep doing it and to love your brothers and sisters during this time.
And we will have the pews sort of marked off on this coming Sunday, just to, again, re-emphasize the fact that we want to try to create some space as people are coming in, so you can look for that as well.
Thanks.